All right, so okay, we continue with this chapter number 6, and our subject is sewing. And this, as we said last time, we gave all of these beautiful examples. So sewing, it's not only with needle and thread. Sewing is actually like attaching to two separate things, whether two sides of one, for example, right, or two separate things, right, by the medium of course sewing. It could be gluing, right, or it could be taping, and it could be even today we're going to see the safety pin, right? So we say you have two pieces of material, and you put the safety pin through, in and out, so it would hold materials very good, right? Very good. So let's see. So part number 1, other prohibited methods of fastening. Okay, fastening. So, and we said what is not fastening? Not fastening is something that you do in a temporary manner, right? And I think last time there were questions about Velcro. So it's not fastening, even though it's going to hold, but they were designed in a way that to be like normal way of use. So we compare Velcro is actually to the buttons, right? So, I mean, halakhically. And same with the zipper, right? When you put the zipper, do it join two pieces of fabric together 100%. But that's the intention. Then you unzip. Okay. So it says fastening with safety pins. There is a general there is a question whether fastening with safety pin by threading the pin back and forth through an item and closing it is considered a form of sewing. So before we continue, so last time we said how what is considered to be minimum sewing on a biblical level. So you go in with the needle. You go inside like through the fabric, and then you go outside like you go in, and then you make knots. Knots meaning that they're not going to the thread is not going to get out by itself, right? So now he's saying exactly the same. You can do with a safety pin. In, out, right, and close. When you close safety pin, it's like the nuts. It's not going to get undone by itself. That's the story. Many poskim hold that this is now different from sewing a thread, right? As we said, we just showed. Whereas others contend that this is not considered sewing. A third opinion differentiates between attaching the pin temporarily and permanently, and that's actually in many halachas that we're going to see. Like when there are two opinions, and there is like a middle ground opinion, which is say it depends. It depends how you do it, like for what period of time you do it. It's permanent, so that's, I mean, when we sewing something together, two pieces of fabric together, it's like when you sewing a button, right? So you sewing the button, so maybe next time should not be next time. So when it's a warehouse, you just throw it in the garbage and that's it. But you don't have intention to cut the button and then resew it again, right? Usually, so meaning when you're sewing things, it's permanently, but nobody would sew things like temporarily, unless it's I don't know, when the tailor would do it like temporarily, and then they see how it looks, and then they do permanent stitching. But we're not talking about it. Okay. So that's very important. So the third opinion said it depends. It's temporary or permanently. Since the issue involves possible biblical prohibition, we must adopt the stringent view. So that's our absolutely always our approach. If it's a biblical, for sure, so for sure it's biblical, right? For sure, it's biblical, and possibly this safety pin, where it goes like what was a thread in and out. So meaning two ends on the same side, whether on top or on bottom, doesn't matter, right? So we have to adopt the stringent opinion. However, there are circumstances in which the use of the pin is permitted. So usually under normal circumstances, don't do it, but since there is a contrary opinion, so we will see like in some special cases. So what is the special case? Number one, inserting pin only once, even I guess even closing, and we said that there is no problem with a thread, and even if person would make knots. I mean, making the knot is a different story. It's a different story, different prohibition. Okay. So it would not be considered like violation. Like if you thread only one time, it's not going to hold in place for sure. Okay. So again, inserting the pin only once. As mentioned previously, passing a thread through the fabric only once is not considered sewing at all, even if the ends of the thread are tied. I mean, of course, again, it's a different Melachah. We didn't get to it, but we are not allowed to make knots on Shabbos. So, but they try, the way I understand, they trying to get the point across, even if you're going to tie the ends, meaning they're not going to do by themselves. Even in this case, it's not forbidden. Right, even if you pierce only once, okay, thread only once. It is therefore permitted to pass safety pin through the two pieces of fabric merely once and close the pin. To clarify, I mean, right, so safety pin is the one that you can close. To clarify, the pin should be pierced fabric only once and emerge the opposite side. So, right, opposite side, so only once. Practically speaking, one can do this near the ends of the items being fastened in order to be able to close the pin. Right, so you cannot do like something in the middle of the garment. So in the middle of the garment, you can do in and out. Yes, that's what is forbidden. But one time, it's only like on the edge. Okay, so far so good. Number two, pinning temporarily. Okay, so one time is no problem, right? And temporary. We mentioned earlier that there is a view which permits sewing when the stitches will be left in place for less than 24 hours. In the case of necessity, 7 days. So, and it's a general rule. It's 24 hours. 24 hours. It's of course preferable to always abide by this, like I would say even not 24 hours, but as soon as Shabbos ends, right? There is also opinion like this, and like as soon as Shabbos ends, you undo whatever was done, or like of course we can always rely on this opinion 24 hours, but or 7 days. So, but 7 days, it's not complete 7 days. It's very important. 7 days meaning to end before Shabbos, so it's not exactly 7 days, but like undo this thing before Shabbos. We do not ordinarily rely upon this view, meaning being temporarily, but in regard to using safety pins, we may rely upon it, since some poskim permit the use of the safety pin altogether. So it's very good point. Right, so usually we would not rely on it, right? Because why not rely? Because the safety pin a person can forget, especially if they close it inside. So if it's outside, it would look stupid, right? So I mean, right, people would be embarrassed to go outside. I mean, right, if you were trying to fix something, right? To go from the place that you were to home, right? There is no problem. But to walk like this on the street, so most people not going to do that, right? But if you close the pin from inside and that does not bother you, maybe you're going to forget, right? So that's why they say usually do not rely on this opinion. But this case is going to be explanation, since we mentioned second opinion that say there is a safety pin have nothing to do with the sewing. Okay. So in this case, so we have room for leniency, and we can say we can close safety pin, right? Again, in and out, right? So meaning it's on the same side, right? Only temporarily. Meaning what? Temporarily less than 24 hours or up to 7 days. Okay. However, it must be absolutely clear that the attachment of the is of temporary nature. The spin must therefore be inserted in a manner which ensure that it will be removed after Shabbos. Right, so meaning don't do it from inside, do it from outside of the garment, so it would bother you, so you're not going to forget, because people do forget many things, right? Right. Okay, after Shabbos. For example, if a hem came loose, one may fasten it with a large safety pin that will be bothersome, right, if left in a place permanently. Meaning, right, so if it's a tiny one, who cares? I mean, it looks nice, right? Maybe you're not going to see. But we have a big one, huge one, it's very annoying, so yes, it looks ridiculous. That's exactly what we need. Not to embarrass a person, but to make sure that he's going to or she's going to undo in the next 24 hours. If one was to use small pins, okay, so as we see, small pins is an issue because a person might forget. He should thread them through the fabric in a manner that makes them somewhat visible from the outside, meaning that in order to undo. For this will surely cause him to remove it as soon as possible. Okay, so that's second point. Third point, using straight pins. So straight pins is the one, as we said, the most common today, and today they would use in the men's short when they pocket the shorts, like a dress shorts, they would use all of this safety pin. Right. I mean, nowadays you use them less and less. Last time I unpacked the shorts, I think it was only 1 or 2. It used to be so many, 5 or 6 or 7. Maybe even more, right? Safety pins. But they're right. And one straight pins. So straight pins meaning it is a pin, but on the end it's set like something like end. Okay. Alternative methods of ensuring that one removes the pins is to use straight pins rather than safety pins. Right. So meaning it's dangerous to leave. Right. If you touch it, you can prick yourself. One will certainly not leave them in place permanently due to the danger that they can prick him. Right, accidentally, of course. Prick him. Note that it would be forbidden to fasten something permanently with a straight pin, since sewing a double stitch that is a piercing the fabric twice is forbidden rabbinically, even if the ends of the thread are not fastened. And it's a very important point. So when we said what is forbidden biblically, right, to pierce in and out, so meaning the both ends on the same side, up or down, doesn't matter, and then they tie them, right, meaning to make sure that they're not going to be undone by itself. But if you just go in and out, so basically, technically, if you think about it, if you pull materials away, so this stitching is going to get undone. But they say even if you have one end, one knot, right, or even no knots, but you did two ends, you pierce and 2 ends on one side, right? It is forbidden rabbinically to do so. I guess rabbis were afraid that that's my personal explanation, because it's the next step a person is going to make a knot. Right? It's only logical to make more sense. So if we allow them that, the next step is going to be this. Okay, and plus they did not attend our class, so how would they know? Number 4, cases of necessity. In case of necessity, where none of the affirmation methods are feasible, One may rely upon the poskim who permits the use of safety pins altogether. Okay, so I think we're going to see like special cases. What is the cases? So let's say, somebody like ripped his pants or something, or a woman like some accident happened, right? And we have to close up. Okay.